live. So if I'm live in my live screen right here, I'm going to be like, hey, and see if I can make a template too. All right. And then I'm like, all right, hey, everyone, we're going to have Ernest in here. We're going to talk about crypto. So, I got a good idea. I'm going to keep you on my upper screen. I'm going to hit a source right now. I'm going to hit screen capture. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to call it Ernest. E. Lee. Add source. I'm going to pick the top monitor where you're at. Now I'm going to make you big screen up here. Wish I could take away my camera, my view. Follow host, video order, immersive speaker. Okay. And then I'm just gonna, boom. I think this will work really nicely. See, I never did this because I'm getting an innovative idea. You can do so much with OBS. So boom. How you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm doing all right. You?
Doing great. So, I started working with you recently. You came across, I think I came across you through Sin City. I'm not exactly sure. I might have saw someone told me about you, but I think I saw you online one day. You may have joined my trading group too, right? And
yeah, I did.
You're on my live stream. You might have sent a super chat too. And then we started talking. I found out you were a tax attorney more than a CPA. And I needed an LLC for the first real estate purchase I ever made, And you did that for me. It was amazing. And I spent like 4 or 5 hours going over in your LLC because I'd never worked with you before. And I learned how intricate and how detailed, and I felt really secure with you. And that was kind of what began our relationship, And then since then, I feel like if I reference you to anyone, it's only going to help my reputation and who I am. And I believe that. So... And I could never recommend you if we had never worked together before, right? I would have to know your level because I am such a detailed guy and so fine, like so overboard in details that I only want to work with someone like that. If they're not as detailed, they make me look bad because I'm that detailed, right? So I can't accept anyone that doesn't go all the way. And I want people to know that's who you are, man. And so, yeah, if you could just tell people what your service is, what you do, and what you could bring to the table for the lifers.
So I'm a tax attorney, like you said. I worked for Deloitte previously. A lot of what I did in the early 2000s with Deloitte was software implementation or an online tax compliance software. I worked in London at the U.S. tax desk there, and I got into crypto. I've been doing taxes for 20 years, but I got into crypto myself 2020. Had a lot of clients that were in crypto. I had to understand it better. In order to understand it better, I went ahead and invested some. And I slowly started to invest more and more through my investment fund that I run, and started to understand the different protocols, different earning capacity that people have in crypto, and understanding the tax benefits or consequences of that type of activity. And so we've analyzed hundreds of different positions. We've taken positions we've taken some pretty aggressive positions on some of the things. For instance, the Celsius losses, we take a pretty aggressive stance on that on a case-by-case basis, but some clients are able to write off their losses there, or use their losses to offset gains that they have in the current year. Mm-hmm. Ordinarily, the real conservative approach with Celsius is that you only get the write off $3,000 of casualty losses in a given year. You carry that forward in infinity, and you only get $3,000 per year.
70 years, you get 210 grand.
Right. And so
who made
our
that
position,
crappy rule?
It's just a terrible position to be in. And so we take the position that we can write those off in the current year when the distribution's made from Celsius. The shares that they're giving Celsius customers in Ionic or whatever that LLC is that they're set up, those shares don't have any value because they're not transferable.
I also saw someone said they had like 11 Ethereum, but they got back they only got like what Ethereum, they got like $2,700. You know what I mean? But like they didn't get their 11 Ethereum back because like when they got scammed, Ethereum was $2,700, whatever,
Right.
whatever the math was. They got the amount that their Ethereum was worth at the time, not if they had actually held the Ethereum, right? So they all got
That's
screwed.
right.
Everyone got screwed. Like, you know, like where is the ETH though? Somewhere. Someone's on that ETH. It's on chain, right? I mean, it's so shady, right?
So the good news is
I won't interrupt when you're talking next
it's
time.
okay.
This is
No,
yeah.
it's good, Sam.
Yeah.
It's the good news is there are positions that can be taken to write off a lot of that loss in the current year to offset your gains that you have in the current year. And most people have gains this year. So my portfolio is up 69% for the year. And what is that? 2.5 months? Yeah. 2.5 months, 69%. So we have an online system that we're putting together. We'll have that launched next week, soft launch. That system's similar to CoinLedger. It's run by Node 40. They're experts in that field. I partnered with Node 40 with that backend software. That software will be available on our website next week, or at least within the next couple of weeks. And that will allow customers to upload their CSVs or to link directly into their exchanges to upload the information, and so that our guys can go through and make sure that things are flowing where they need to flow. That's the biggest problem with a CoinLedger, for instance, is that you link in your APIs and you get all your data, and it doesn't necessarily know that you bought half Ethereum on crypto.com and transferred it over to Coinbase, and then the price was better over it.
No, it's a mess. It's
Kraken.
a mess.
It's a total mess.
It's a mess.
So we do a lot of that tracking, and we do that through the transaction tracking that we do, manual tracking. And our largest client has 200,000 transactions a year. And so that's a lot of transactions. It's a lot to track. And so we've got systems in place that can track 200,000 transactions a year. Then we can certainly track for the casual trader.
Yeah. I think I mean, if you looked at all my DeFi and all my moving around, I'm probably somewhere in the 5 to 10,000s. I mean, you don't even realize it, you know. You look back, you're like, I made 8, you know, MEXC gave you a report at the end of the year last year, and I was like, you made 15,000 trade. I was like, you know what I mean? You don't even realize it, you know. Sometimes you went into coin, I didn't like it, you get right out. There's a trade right there. You don't even think about it, right? And then it's like, you might do that twice here and there, and then you make a big trade, then you're out of something you win last week, and then next thing you know, that was 8 trades that day, but you didn't even like fully register. For me, it's like, I have the same, like I go to bed at night, and I'm like, one day I would like, maybe I'll never sell a Bitcoin, but I think, you know, when it's like, at one point the price is going to stabilize, right? And I think we're going to like, there's going to be a point where it's going to be kind of like, I feel like it's going to become the dollar, the world reserve currency. And I think it will sit, I don't know, $2-5 million a coin. And it's just kind of, and at that point, like maybe my daughter wants to buy a nice home for her kids, and I could just peel off one for her. You know what I mean? And I'll have no idea what I paid for that thing if I don't have you guys. No idea. And I know how to do it. I would sit through every transaction ever made on every site that I was ever on, and I'd have to look at all my transactions and when I sent what to what wallet. And now there's a level of trust here. I need to give you kind of my hardware addresses. You need to know a lot about me and kind of my stuff, right? So, but you being a tax attorney, there's documents we sign. Do people feel safe? How do you handle someone that feels a little nervous about like kind of letting you into their life, you know?
So, everyone's protected by both attorney-client privilege, accountant-client privilege, but also they're protected. I don't, for instance, if you link in an API, I don't have access to that data. That data is stored on a secure server through Amazon Web Services that's set up by Node 40. They're completely secure in their transactions and all of the data, and so we don't have access to the even the web address. The wallet address at that point. We only have access to the data, and we're not able to manipulate the data at all. We just track the data and let Node 40 do what they do best, which is which is make sure they've accounted for everything, make sure that nothing's missing basis, make sure that
I see what you're saying. They do
properly.
you do the. I get it now too, because like I could do this. Like I could do this. Like I know how to do it. It just, I guess I could run this for, because and I'd have to have the people just, and I'd be like, you have to find it. So we'd run the regular one, right? I might run like Coinly or something. I'd see all their holes, and then I'd be like, all right, these are the holes, and then we'd have to go and actually detective the holes. All right, like this doesn't have a cost basis. Well, where did it come from? Well, he bought it on Coinbase originally. He sent it over here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, sometimes, what if it gets like, what if you made 5 MetaMask addresses, flipped it to 1? You didn't even do it on purpose. It's just like you just kept it, and it gets to the point where it's like, it's just out of control. Like, you know what I mean? Like some people, like, who knows? Like, you'd have to be like, but I guess if you just keep going on chain and you stay focused, you can eventually wrap it all back around. You know what I mean?
You can. Yeah.
You know?
If it's on chain, we can track it. If it's in an exchange, we can track it. If it's in an exchange that's closed down, it takes a little bit more forensic accounting, but we can track it. We've got clients that were in BlockFi that don't have access to their data, and we're back testing, getting everything straight for based on emails, just on trade confirmations that we've gotten.
Interesting.
And so we'll go through hundreds of trades confirmations for a client to make sure that the information they have in their email is the information that we're reporting on the return.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's well earned, in my humble opinion. It's an honest living. You know what I mean? It's you save a lot of people a lot of time. These people want to learn how to trade, right? They don't, and they're working 9 to 5s. They want to spend time with me doing divergences. They don't want to spend time doing this. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we can give it to them at an affordable rate that helps them out, gets you kind of your foot in this crypto door with all your awesome accounting services. I mean, I think it's a win-win for everybody. So that's why I wanted to have you on the channel. That's why I figured people should get to know you. I think you should have some bullet points. I think it should be no more than like 5 to 7 minutes long. Up to you though. You tell me.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Right.
5 to 7 minutes, and I'll have some bullet points.
Yeah. Hit it. And I'll speak little, like this one. I just was trying to feel out like how the audio was going. I was testing other things, just kind of making sure. I sent you a picture of what it will look like in the chat, just so you can see. I'll just throw you on top of my my charts, and you'll just have a window there. I could make a cool little template, maybe. I'll ask my team. I can show this to them and say, hey, could you make my window and his window, little neat template in Photoshop, and then I can just slide you in. You know what I mean? But
right.
I think it's kind of cool too with you on top of the charts. I don't know. I'm looking at it now, and it just gives this like, I don't know. He's like there, and they're already watching the coins, and then you just kind of pop in, and I just have you pretty much full screen or to the right of me, and that's the beauty of having 6 monitors. I can put you on any monitor, turn that into a display, and then turn that into wherever I need it on the OBS, right?
I've got Sam. I've got 2 monitors, but they are
Those wide ones,
40-inch monitors, curved.
Yeah.
2 of them. They're made by Samsung. Arc, is the name of them, and so they take up my entire front of me desk here, and then I can just move things over by windows rather than having individual monitors.
Yeah, you just have windows.
I'm trying to figure out which monitor I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm on 2 really big monitors.
4K or 2K or like.
Yeah, they're 4K and they work really well. And then for this, it's basically a teleprompter through Elgato teleprompter. So everything's up there. So I'm looking directly at the camera and I'm able to engage.
Yeah. Tell me how you're doing that, because I have my teleprompter setup right now I have a big, like, I'll show, hold on. Let's do a zoom now. Let me get out of here. This is great. So